Now, reactions have been pouring in from around the world after the death and killing of Yahya Sinwar. With Israeli forces confirming Yahya Sinwar's killing, the year-long hunt for the Hamas leader comes to an end. It's a good day for the world, said US President Joe Biden, who spoke to Israeli Prime Minister Benjamin Netanyahu over the phone to congratulate him. Biden, as well as his Vice President Kamala Harris, called Sinwar's killing an opportunity to free Israeli hostages held by Hamas and end the year-long war in Gaza. US State Department spokesperson Matthew Miller said the country wants to kickstart talks on a proposal to achieve a ceasefire and secure the release of hostages. Now, according to reports, US Secretary of State Antony Blinken has already held separate phone calls with Saudi and Qatari foreign ministers in this regard. Meanwhile, EU Chief Ursula von der Leyen said that the death of Sinwar significantly weakens the Palestinian group.
Yes, indeed. Sinwar was the leader of a terrorist organization, the terrorist organization of Hamas, and he was basically the mastermind behind the 7th of October with the killings, the massacres, the rapes and the kidnapping. So his death is certainly significantly weakening Hamas.
French President Emmanuel Macron, as well as Italian Prime Minister Giorgia Meloni, called Sinwar the primary architect of the terrorist attack and barbarism on the 7th of October, which was seen last year. UK's Defence Secretary John Healey, who also held Sinwar responsible for Hamas' attack on Israel, said it triggered the darkest day for the Jewish people since the Second World War and a year of conflict with intolerable Palestinian civilian casualties. All right, for more on this, we are now being joined by our correspondent, Susan Tehrani, who's joining me from New York. Hi, Susan. At this point, Susan, as world leaders are suggesting, do you think it is a chance to end the war? All right, we're just trying to reconnect with Susan till the time that connection is established. Just to give you a recap of all that's happened in the last few hours, Israel has confirmed the killing of Hamas chief Yahya Sinwar. Yahya Sinwar, seen as the poster boy for Hamas, of course, took over, was named the chief after the killing of Ismail Haniyeh, who was killed in Tehran on the 31st of July. It was barely little over 2.5 months since Sinwar was named the chief. He was not seen much in public, and now his death has been confirmed by Israel. Hamas on its end has not confirmed the death of Yahya Sinwar. All right, I'm once again going to try to connect with Susan Tehrani, our correspondent, joining me from New York. Hi, Susan, if you can hear me clearly at this point, I want to get your thoughts on this. Of course, there have been a lot of reactions which have come in from around the world. A lot of world leaders are suggesting that this is a chance to end the war. But the resistance forces, Iran's resistance forces, they are saying it's only going to strengthen the resistance. What's your take on this? Or what kind of reactions have you picked up?
It will be very interesting to see what happens in the coming days. Really, nobody knows. Even the U.S. administration was being very cautiously optimistic that something good can come out of the killing of Sinwar. Of course, President Biden echoing what Israeli officials have been saying for months, if not the past year or so. Capturing Sinwar was equivalent to capturing Osama bin Laden. And really, as I was talking to one Israeli analyst here in the United States, he was saying perhaps it was even more important for the Israelis because there was this sort of perception that Sinwar was untouchable and no one could ever find him. So, you know, it's a very fluid situation, for a lack of a better word. Nonetheless, it seems like President Biden wants to capitalize on this death for the benefit of his administration, his legacy, and also Kamala Harris's candidacy, and try to bring about some kind of peace negotiation, or at least have the hostages come back as soon as possible in the next 1 or 2 months that he does have time in the Oval Office. Remember, those comments that he makes right now, a lot of them are very political. They're geared towards a domestic audience. Nonetheless, the reaction, of course, has been one of positivity for the killing of this mastermind of October 7th here in the United States. But again, it's so hard to predict what's going to happen next.
All right, Susan, thanks for getting us those reactions which you've picked up. And that was Susan Tehrani joining me from New York.